with you on SportsCenter. Following breaking news out of the NFL, Adam Schefter tweeting Micah Parsons wants out. This part of Parsons' statement that he just said after, of course, Micah or Adam Schefter posted about it. Thank you, Dallas. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Yikes. For more on this situation, let's bring in senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler, who right now is at Minnesota Vikings camp, but everything stops. We're going to get to the Vikings in just a second. J-Bone, how did the situation between the Cowboys and Parsons get to this point?
Yeah, Gary, this has been bubbling under the surface for a while. Micah Parsons wanted a deal last offseason. They didn't do it, but he was willing to be patient. This should be a slam dunk because he has no knocks against him. He's on his second contract. He's a young player. He's premier. No injury issues, no off-the-field issues. So this is a very clean, easy deal to do. He feels like he's been as patient as he possibly could. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have no intention of trading him based on all that I've gathered. It would take a lot to even make Dallas listen to this situation. Certainly teams are going to start calling. We see it with trade requests all the time where the player ends up staying somehow or they work out a deal. We saw it with Myles Garrett not too long ago. But that statement was significant because you're dealing with not only Micah Parsons, but you're dealing with agent David Mulugeta, who probably is the most powerful agent in the league. And so it looks like Dallas was trying to skirt Mulugeta to get to Parsons. That didn't sit well with either side, it appears.
Is there a path? You mentioned the Myles Garrett thing being able to get figured out. Is there a path out of this that potentially keeps Micah back in Dallas?
Well, based on his statement, I would say that that's a hard no. He does not appear he wants to relent. But we do see with trade requests around the league, the trend seems to be that a player requests a trade because they're not getting any momentum on a deal. The team re-engages on a contract and they find a sweet spot. Trey Hendrickson requested a trade in Cincinnati. The Bengals have no intention to trade him, so they're trying to work out a deal. Terry McLaurin, that situation in Washington is still pretty fresh. So we'll see what Washington does, but they have no plans to trade McLaurin either. So it's a matter of a player has to be willing to sit out the entire season if a team simply doesn't want to trade that player, and it can get very sticky in this situation. But we know how Dallas does business. They did CeeDee Lamb's deal a year ago back in late August. They did Dak Prescott's deal on the eve of the regular season, week 1. So sometimes in these situations, cooler heads can prevail, but Parsons definitely seems fed up and doesn't want to go anywhere else but outside of Dallas right now.
Absolute heavyweights who have recently asked for their exit out of their said situation. All right, you're there at Vikings camp, Eden, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson has been hampered with that hamstring injury. What's the latest on Jay Jetta and these Vikings?
Well, I just spoke with head coach Kevin O'Connell. He said that Justin Jefferson is trending upward. They are hoping to get him on the practice field in some capacity over the next week. It most likely will not be today when they take the field shortly. But check out what O'Connell said here.
The good thing is we avoided serious injury, but now at the same time we want to make sure that he goes through the right process before he's back going at it full speed every single day. We get to build that up and really manage something in a short amount of time without the threat of the regular season being an issue. We want to be smart. But at the same time, Justin wants to get back on the field. He has been phenomenal in the meeting room. I mean, I just, leaving a meeting earlier today where he was, darn near installing things to some of the wide receivers, and then he's out on the practice field with real-time feedback for some of our young players. And the best thing, whether it's with myself or JJ, there's real high-level football discussion going on. So maybe the physical reps between our quarterback and Jets aren't happening on a daily basis, but they're still well on their way to forming that bond that we're looking for.
O'Connell also told me that he has had a, quote, blast coaching J.J. McCarthy in his second season. It's a blank canvas for O'Connell, but he said it's been really tough going against Brian Flores' defense, one of the best in the league. So he hopes McCarthy answers that challenge today with good decision-making.
Sports HQ, where Dallas Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons has formally requested a trade. Negotiations have apparently stalled between Parsons and the team, and now he wants out. Micah Parsons taking to social media this afternoon, and he ends a very lengthy statement by saying, quote, "I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys." Let's welcome in our NFL analyst, Brian B-Mac McFadden. And B-Mac joining us from the airport because, B-Mac, you were doing your West Coast training camp tour. You were just in Oxnard not too long ago covering Cowboys training camp, where the story of Micah Parsons has been out there for weeks, for months. Was there any indication when you were out there in California at training camp that this could be what was on the horizon?
No, not at all. I had an opportunity to talk to Micah off camera. And of course, he just was going through the motions, clearly not participating on the grass with his teammates, but, getting the mental reps, being involved, still being there to motivate and encourage all of his teammates without having his cleats on. But this has been a very, very frustrating process for Micah Parsons. It's been frustrating for us being a part of the media, just talking about when will they get a deal done. And most recently, they signed tight end Jake Ferguson to an extension. So you look at what the Dallas Cowboys have done or have not done in terms of Micah Parsons, this entire ordeal hasn't made any sense. And I'm not surprised to hear him say that he wants to be traded, because for a player of his caliber, Jacqueline, there's no reason for him to basically beg and wait for a contract, because he's deserving of seeing whatever his market value is. And will they trade Micah Parsons? I don't think so. I still believe they will get a deal done, but this is just Micah showing his frustration and just being tired of waiting, because he wants to be on the football field with his guys getting ready for this upcoming season. But until he gets an extension, he will not step foot on the field. And now we're hearing that he potentially could try to force his way out.
Yeah, and in that lengthy statement that we just mentioned, he had said, I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done. B-Mac, we appreciate it. Safe travels, my friend, as we were following this breaking news story with Micah Parsons. And again, we mentioned his post on social media, and he continued to say, quote, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Let's welcome in our other NFL analyst, Damian Harris, to talk more about this big breaking news. Damian, it just felt like we kept saying it's not a matter of if, but when Micah Parsons is going to get paid, right? So based off of everything that has gone on in totality, with the comments that you heard from Jerry Jones at training camp and everything, are you surprised that it's reached this point where Micah Parsons is now taking to social media and requesting a trade?
Well, Jacqueline, I have to put it this way. It's shocking news, but it's not surprising news. And I'll say this. It's shocking that the Jones family, Jerry Jones specifically, has allowed it to get to this level where the best player on your team, potentially one of the best players, not potentially, one of the best players in the league, is requesting a trade in the middle of training camp going into a season. I'm shocked that they have let it get this far. I'm not surprised because, like B-Mac just said, a player of this caliber, a player who has put up the numbers, the production, what means to a team, what Micah Parsons means to the Dallas Cowboys, the fact that he is not getting paid for that and not being properly compensated, that is a problem. And for a guy like Micah Parsons, he mentioned in his statement, it's not just about not getting the deal done. It's the shots, it's the jabs in the media from Jerry Jones, the comment, and I'll even put my own name and face on it and saying that this even rubbed me the wrong way and I got no skin in it. The comment that Jerry Jones made about the level of fans' engagement when chanting for paying Micah Parsons, talking about, well, this is not nearly what we heard or nearly at the level that we heard for CeeDee Lamb. Again, Micah Parsons, I love CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons is your best